Next one is vertical specific solutions and messaging. So why is this? I think too many of our brethren, our industry, just wants to send out, hey, I do infrastructure migration for the world, right? So, I think in today's day and age, our buyers are more educated. They can find information a whole lot quicker and faster and easier, right? And I think what they're looking for is a organization that understands their industry needs. This is so important. So very, very important. So if I were you, and what my strategy would be if I were you, is I would take a look at your current client base. I'd download your current client base, and then I would group them into industry today. So if you have 100 clients, great. Group them into industry. Now, the reason why you're doing this is you have all the information at your fingertips. You just don't know it. So I would group them into industry, right? And then this is what I would do. I would say, okay, the top 25% of my clients are in manufacturing, right? Like, okay, cool. Okay, sounds good. Now, my next meeting I would ask all the account managers and engineers who are working on those accounts to meet me in the conference room for a 1-hour lunch. Okay. Then I'm going to ask those folks, hey, by the way, what are we selling to all of these manufacturers? What is a common need that we are solving? Okay, what is a problem that we're solving that's common across the board? And then you're going to start finding, as people start opening up and talking about the different accounts, they're going to start bringing up several things that you're doing inside of that industry today that's solving problems and gaining big fans. These people are staying with you because you solved that problem. You help them out. You keep things running. You keep it going, right? So if you think about it, you already have a lot of this information and a lot of this knowledge. You just need to actually go and research it within your organization. So what I would do then is, okay, now that you have that information, I would then create a separate, on your webpage, I would actually say your top 3 organizations. I would put manufacturing, healthcare, and professional services, right? And inside of there, that's when you start actually talking about the problems that you're solving. Now, if you don't know the problems that you're solving, it's actually quite easy. You can use ChatGPT right now, or OpenAI, or Microsoft Copilot, or whatever AI thing, and you can say top 5 problems are IT problems in manufacturing. Great, boom! Like in 30 seconds, you have all the information you need. I would start taking that type of content and sending that out, because what you want to do is send out white papers that say, hey, these are the top 5 mistakes in manufacturing when it comes to AI. That's a great piece of marketing material, right? So you want to have to be more vertically specific. One of the worst things you can do, now, I'm not going to pick on anyone in this in this meeting today. We're not going to look at any of your websites today. We're not going to do that, okay? Because that'd be kind of mean. But go to your website and look at it and ask yourself the question, is there any notion of verticalization at all? Now, you may not want to be a big vertical person because you're like, oh, I got bit 20 years ago when the verticals went down, right? No problem. You could have a separate page that says manufacturing or healthcare or whatever. You could have that, but ask yourself the question, and maybe even right now, go to your website and take a quick look and say, do I have vertically specific messaging on my website? Am I different than anybody else? Because if you don't, you're not different. You're just like everybody else. And then how, as a buyer, would I make any discernible change? If I'm in manufacturing and I see an IT company that has a manufacturing messaging, they understand my business, I want to call them first as opposed to calling the other 2. All right, so that's good. So build landing pages, we talked about that. Offer tailored services bundles. That is a big, big thing. I would do that for manufacturing. I would do that for healthcare, and you can do with a small, medium, and large. We talked a lot about that many years ago about packaging and how to build the right packaging to get out there. And if I'm going to give an opinion on it, I'd say that your packaging needs to have 3 packages. And you can go to our website, okay, because we follow this a lot, crancer.us. You have a small, a micro, a medium, and a large package. Now, our micro is meant to basically be a catch-all, right, for organizations that want to try services out, but they're not really committed to the larger package. Our middle package is where the majority of our customers actually live. And then we have an enterprise package, which is for companies that have multiple MPNs across multinational companies. But we actually say our prices, we publish them, but we talk about how to solve problems in that industry. The only industry we service is the IT industry, okay? However, if you look at our website, I would take the idea behind our website and put that into a vertically specific web page or landing page that actually has a micro package, a medium, and a large. Now, your micro is to allow people to try you out. That's really the whole idea behind it. The medium package is really where you want most people to come into, because then you can start doing things better and better and better all the time with them, right? Your margins go up with that. Your enterprise package is really set for that 5% of potential clients that you work with. They're going to look at, or the people that love to buy the Mercedes-Benz S-Class or the G-Wagon, right? There's people out there that are like, I don't want the micro. If I'm going to go with it, I'm going to spend the money because I know if I buy quality, I'm going to buy that. So very important to understand vertical specific and messaging, very important. Now, this is just for your web page, but part of your marketing efforts have to be all encompassing, right? So it's not just your web page or landing pages, but it's also what is your nurture campaigns that have to do with vertical specific marketing.